wake up, wake up. All the politicians are crooks. Almost all of mainstream media are crooks. Well, what happened now? Now you guys are the tiny fringe, and I love it. I'm here for it because you guys suck. Oh, you're a Republican? Do you love corporations? Good. Do you Democrat? Love corporations? Good. You don't love corporations? Get out of here, you radical.
They don't know better. They don't, I'm not gonna swear. They don't know S is what I'll say.
This is an issue that transcends partisanship, right? This is an issue that is impacting Americans regardless of their political affiliation or identity. The majority of Americans agree that the system is broken, but it's not gonna get fixed, Cenk.
100%, which leads me to the second culprit. The media is cover for the politicians who are the actual crooks. So who can actually fix the system? Right?
The politicians who are literally bribed by the health insurance industry to not fix the system, Cenk.
And that's why I keep going back to mainstream media, because they then tell us, oh, you guys are outrageous. No, these politicians are such honest, wonderful people, and they're having a real legitimate debate about which system is better. There is no debate about which system is better. Universal healthcare is literally every other developed nation on earth has it. It costs half as much, and they live 4 years longer. There's no question at all about which system is better, but mainstream media will lie to you, and the crooked politicians will lie to you because they all get giant sums of money from healthcare companies as advertisers and in campaign donations. So what I really, really want is for the right wing and the left wing to forget about this Luigi guy and to wake up, wake up. All the politicians are crooks. Almost all of mainstream media are crooks. And they are the ones that have given you this oppressive system that is literally killing us, and it's killing us for profit, and it is inarguable that it's for profit. So again, one more time. So they have to keep their costs low and their revenue high. What's their cost? Actual healthcare for us. Why do you think United Healthcare denied 32% of the claims? Because that's their costs. They'd rather let you die. And they make that decision every day over and over again. Let them die, let them die, let them die. Okay, why? Because we're gonna make more money and the stock market's gonna be happy with us. And they make $20 billion a year making those decisions that killed real Americans. And not one person in media cares, and not one person in Washington cares. To be fair, there's a couple of people, of course, Bernie Sanders, O'Connor, etc., and there's some decent people in media. But overall, 98% of them are like, who cares? Did the campaign contributions come in? Did the advertising check come in? So what? Kill him, kill him, kill him. No, and aren't you guys, look, wait. So we're all mad at, now I'm worked up. Now we're mad at Taylor Lorenz, we're mad at Haas, we're mad at all these other people for not having appropriate empathy or whatever the hell for United Healthcare CEO. I have the empathy, but where's your goddamn empathy for the 76,000 dead? Where is it, huh? I don't see any of it. Is anybody on TV crying? All the multi-millionaire anchors? Oh my God, so your parents might die because they have cancer or this and they got denied coverage. They don't give a damn about the average person. Those crooked politicians that they cover for all the time, greedily taking the goddamn checks and go, yeah, go ahead, kill them, who cares? Who cares? We know what the better system is, but I want the corruption. I want the money, Lebowski. So I'm sick of them, and I hate that they have no empathy for the average person. So first of all, I love that moment where Van Jones, has an epiphany, but is mainly trying to force others into that epiphany. Guys, we think we're, the central point of this country, right? And everybody cares what we think, and what we say is the most important thing. But while we weren't paying attention, we became the fringe. People aren't even listening to us anymore. They're actually listening to the guys that we think are hilarious. Like, who are these people? Like, what are they, Ren and Stimpy? Right? I mean, we still get that to this day. I've been, we were the first partner for YouTube. We're the original YouTubers. My God, back in the day, for the last 20 years, YouTube, right? Like anything will come out of YouTube. Well, what happened now? Now you guys are the tiny fringe, and I love it. I'm here for it. Because you guys suck.
But like
you support the rich and the powerful and the establishment that we all despise. That's why you were overturned. That's why people said, oh, I hate those guys. They're a bunch of liars. Let me go listen to some other folks. And they listened to some folks that led them astray, and they listened to some folks that made sense. But now we're in an actual marketplace of ideas, and not just like the tiny guardrails that the establishment media have. Oh, you're a Republican? Do you love corporations? Good. Do you Democrat? Love corporations? Good. You don't love corporations? Get out of here, you radical, lefty, righty loser. Get him out of here, that stupid populist.
There's like 1,000 issues with this. The casual inclusion of yet more AI into this. I'm sure he'll stop at this though. That'll be it. They won't replace articles or editorials or whatever with it. So there's the inclusion of AI, the questioning of your own reporters, the weird tech person thing of taking, like even if this is a problem that you think needs to be solved, this is the only way, the simplest way we have to solve it is an AI button. Like if it's for your editorials, maybe list where the person works. That can provide a little bit of information. If they've worked in certain industries, maybe you list that. If they've served in different administrations, you could like be a human about it rather than a creepy weirdo that thinks that you need like a large language model to solve every problem, but that's the tech solution for literally everything. And then there's everything having to do with bias. Almost everyone, including very wealthy people, either don't understand what bias is or would have you believe that they don't. When they say bias, what is the only bias that they're considering? Left versus right or whatever.
Yeah, it's true.
That is such a shallow, boring, close-minded analysis of all of the various biases that can influence an editorial or a bit of reporting. Your personal life experience can influence it. Your age can experience it. Your work history can influence it. How about this? Like literally, who gets a chance to write an editorial for the LA Times is a form of bias. Now you're not gonna be able to press the button in the LA Times to find out, because that would just, you press that and you'd find out that maybe he's the actual source of bias. So yeah, if you've worked for a defense contractor, you can easily get an editorial. If you're working minimum wage, you have literally no chance to even express your bias. There's so many pro-corporate, pro-status quo bias. So the button's gonna recognize all of that. No, it's like it's using AI to solve something that's not actually a problem, and then using it to identify things that don't even get to the most insidious forms of bias that do pop up in our media. This is inevitably what seems to happen, is you have these weirdo rich people that start exercising more and more influence because they think they know better, or they think tech knows better. They don't know better. They don't, I'm not gonna swear. They don't know S is what I'll say. And they need to keep their hands out of it. I'm personally, I don't even want to put this out there, but like any moment you could find out that Elon Musk decides he's gonna buy like the top 15 newspapers in the nation or whatever. And he could do it,
Yeah.
he's infinite money. He could buy the New York Times, he could buy like, again, we need more independence. We don't need billionaires, we don't need AI to control all this stuff.
The UN is reporting that Israel has already violated its ceasefire with Hezbollah in Lebanon around 100 times. So that ceasefire remains fragile. And I want to make the point that I made earlier about that ceasefire. If Israel reneges on the ceasefire, what would the consequences be? Israel has the globe's military superpower, the United States, backing it regardless of what it does. So of course it's going to renege on the ceasefire. Why wouldn't it?
The ceasefire isn't meant for Israel. It's just meant to get Hezbollah to stop firing back. So, and that's what happens when you have absolute power. So we told you Israel wouldn't listen to the ceasefire, and of course it didn't listen to the ceasefire. Not only has it bombed 100 times, and if you ask them, they say, well, we have to do it. No, you don't have to do it. In fact, you're not allowed to do it. That's the whole point of the ceasefire. And they say, no, it's preemptive. Hezbollah might one day strike, so we just bombed them 100 times after we did a peace deal, because we're liars. We're giant, enormous liars that never trust a single thing the Israeli government says. It's never true. And so here they are again, and they're not the ones trying to reach peace. They always say like, oh, we have no partner for peace. Yeah, because you're not a partner for peace. So Hezbollah says yes, and then Israel says yes, and then goes, we're just kidding. We're the lying Israeli government. So we're just gonna keep on bombing you. And if you dare bomb us one time, and not even bomb us, launch a bomb, that those bombs almost never hit anyway, we'll say, oh my God, they broke the ceasefire. And then every person in mainstream media, Dana Bash, will go out there and go, yes, it's Hezbollah. They are all at fault. It's all the Arabs and Muslims. They are at fault. Poor Israel only broke it 100 times. I mean, no, it's Hezbollah that broke it. So I'm sick of this propaganda. And then meanwhile, they also attacked Syria again. Why? Because they're allowed to attack any country they like. They're allowed to start any war they like. And after they bomb them to oblivion, then they'll say, oh, ceasefire, ceasefire. And they'll get them to stop firing back, and they'll keep firing at Syria. So that's the Israeli government. I'm gonna go back to Gaza now. World Central Kitchen, you think it's an accident that they hit them a second time? You think it's an accident every time they hit a food distribution center with people waiting there, innocent civilians, including children? Every time they have the same absolutely preposterous excuse. We thought there might be a Hamas militant in the area. I mean, we didn't find any, right? But there could have been, but we murdered all those kids just in case. And the World Central Kitchen, they say one of the 5 people we murdered might have had some relationship with Hamas. Are you kidding me? If you told me one of the people that the government just killed might have done something wrong, but the US government killed 4 innocent people at the same time. Well, like one guy might have done an armed bank robbery, but we killed them all. I would say that's outrageous. How could you kill 4 innocent human beings who are actually among the best people on earth looking to feed starving children? Israel goes, who cares? I can murder anyone I like, and I get my dogs in the American government, whether it's dog Biden or dog Trump, to do anything I want. I could break any peace treaty. I could bomb anyone. I could murder anyone I like. And that's the out of control Israeli government. There is absolutely no excuse left for Israel at all. It's an open air robbery. It's like the beginning of Pulp Fiction, where they just scream to the world, this is an effing robbery. And so that's what they're doing now. If you're still making excuses for them, look, understand that when those bombs land, those children are lit on fire, or their body parts are exploded into God knows how many pieces. How many videos do you have to see online of parents picking up body parts of children before you realize Israel is not the good guys? The current government of Israel are the terrorists that are starting all of the violence. They're the terrorists who occupy millions of people and enslave them for their own economic benefit, and then now propose to steal more Arab land. It's disgusting, it's colonial, it's imperial, and they are definitely the bad guys. And if you think my beloved Israel can do no wrong, you're blind, absurd, and unfortunately, as it breaks my heart, immoral, deeply, deeply immoral to say constantly murdering human rights workers and healthcare workers and children is what the moral guys, the good guys, the moral army would do. No, it's what disgusting terrorists would do.
The reason why all this exists, and the reason why none of the problems in America ever get solved, is because these same companies then go and donate to politicians. So they're not making an extra $1 trillion because, oh golly gee, that's just the laws of the universe. No, in fact, all other developed nations have universal healthcare for a reason, because they know that privatized healthcare does not work. Remember, when you have universal healthcare, you could layer on private healthcare on top, okay? So it doesn't mean that you don't have any other options. But under our system, there is no guarantees, and people are denied care and often die for strictly profit motive. So someone makes way more money when your family members die. And that sucks. That's totally and utterly unacceptable in a normal democracy if the people were really ruling. But we are not ruling. Corporations have taken over politics, they've taken over mainstream media, and it's like they have a vice grip on us. And so you should be absolutely outraged at our healthcare system. That even though we're the richest nation on earth, we have one of the worst life expectancies. We have one of the worst cost per capita. So last thing on this, to give you a sense of how stark it is. So not only do 76,000 people die, but we pay twice as much. Why do we pay twice as much? It doesn't go to healthcare. It goes to their profits. And so that's why they made $20 billion in 1 year in profit, not in revenue, in profit. That's $20 billion that could have been spent on you and your family to treat you if we were doing health insurance in a right way. And not only did those people die, on average now, Americans live 4 years less than other developed nations that have universal health care. So they're actually taking 4 years off of all of our lives, so they can make 20 billion in profit. Is that a sane system? No, that's a system that the American people should absolutely end. The only reason we don't end it, because every liar in mainstream media never tells you how grotesque and unjust this system is. They love that injustice, they propagate that injustice, and they keep the truth from you. That's the reality. You could look it up. And guys, when that happens, when a system is that unjust, whether we like it or not, and no matter how much we condemn it, it leads to this kind of wrong-headed vigilante justice. Because when the government doesn't do anything, and why did we have all of these protests, et cetera? You remember when people were accosting the politicians in public? Why? Because they never allow us to talk to them. The only way you can talk to them is by bribing them, giving them a giant check. And then they're like, oh, you can't accost me in public, but then you never listen to us. So I don't want them accosted, but I do want them challenged verbally, not physically. And so now you can't touch any of the overlords. You can't speak to the overlords. And then it gets bottled up, and then it gets released in all the wrong ways because that pressure is inevitable. So they can keep ignoring this, but we're just gonna have more and more vigilante violence as this system is so unjust and so oppressive.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.